Elina was a quiet girl. She loved to read. She dreamed of faraway lands, but most of all, Elina loved to talk. Not to people, though. Elina dreamt of speaking to the world.
She would spend hours in her room. A hairbrush became her microphone, her bed a grand stage. Elina would pretend to be a news anchor. Her words, clear and strong, filled the room, but only when she was alone.
In the real world, shyness held Elina back. Her voice, so powerful in her room, would shrink to a whisper. Crowds made her nervous. Speaking up felt impossible, yet the dream of anchoring burned bright within her. School was a challenge for Elina. While other children chatted and played, she stayed quiet. Group projects filled her with dread. The thought of speaking up in class made her heart race.
One day, her teacher announced a class presentation. Elina's stomach lurched. This was her worst nightmare. She tried to blend into the background, hoping to become invisible. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. Her name was called. Elina froze. Her heart pounded in her chest like a drum. The classroom walls felt like they were closing in. Walking to the front felt like a mile. The microphone on the stand seemed to mock her with its silence.
Elina stumbled through her presentation. Her voice was barely a whisper. She avoided eye contact. It was a disaster. As she rushed back to her seat, she vowed never to speak in public again.
During recess, while everyone played, Elina sought refuge in the library. She found solace among the bookshelves. As she browsed, a poster caught her eye. It was an announcement for the school radio station. A spark ignited within Elina. Maybe, just maybe, she could use her voice without facing an audience. The radio became her secret haven. She poured her heart out, her voice filling the airwaves, reaching every corner of the school.
Mr. Thompson, the school's English teacher, oversaw the radio club. He was a kind, encouraging man with a passion for words. He saw something special in Elina's voice, a certain spark that shone through the speakers.
He became her mentor, guiding her, pushing her to explore her potential. He taught her the nuances of voice modulation, the power of pauses, the magic of storytelling through sound. He saw past her shyness, recognizing the confident anchor she could become.
Mr. Thompson encouraged Elina to participate in inter-school radio competitions. He believed in her even when she doubted herself. His belief became her anchor, giving her the strength to face her fears one word at a time. The day of the inter-school radio competition arrived. Elina had prepared well. She knew her script by heart. Mr. Thompson had coached her patiently.
Okay, I can do this.
Yet, as she sat in the soundproof recording booth, anxiety crept in. She started strong, her voice clear and steady. But then, her old nemesis, self-doubt, reared its ugly head. She stumbled over a word, then another. Panic welled up, threatening to drown her.
I can't believe I messed up so badly.
Stepping out of the booth, Elina felt defeated. Mr. Thompson, however, was not disheartened.
Elina, every stumble is a lesson. Learn from it, grow from it. Don't let it silence you.
His words, though simple, began to resonate with her. Elina took Mr. Thompson's words to heart. His encouragement was the spark she needed to ignite her journey. She practiced harder, pushing past her comfort zone. Every evening she would stand in front of the mirror, rehearsing her lines, perfecting her tone. She volunteered to read announcements during school assemblies, her voice growing steadier each time. The initial tremors in her voice gradually faded, replaced by a clear, confident tone. She even participated in the school play, albeit in a small, non-speaking role. Yet being on stage, under the spotlight, was a victory in itself.
One step at a time, I can do this. Each small step felt monumental, each challenge a mountain she was determined to climb.
Each small victory chipped away at the wall of shyness that surrounded her. The once insurmountable barrier was now riddled with cracks, letting in rays of confidence. She discovered a newfound confidence, a belief in her own abilities. This belief was not just in her voice, but in her very essence. The microphone, once a source of fear, was now an instrument of empowerment. It became a symbol of her journey, her growth, and her resilience.
I'm starting to really enjoy this. The thrill of speaking, the joy of being heard, it was all becoming a part of her.
She continued to excel in the radio club, becoming known for her captivating storytelling and her warm, engaging voice. Her stories were not just heard, they were felt. Elina was no longer the shy girl who hid in the library. She was finding her voice, her place, her passion. Her journey was just beginning, and the world was ready to listen. Chapter 2. Facing the camera, facing her fears. One day Mr. Thompson presented Elina with a new challenge, an opportunity to anchor the school's news program. This wasn't radio, this was television. It meant facing a camera, not just a microphone. Elina was terrified.
I can't do this, Mr. Thompson. I freeze in front of cameras. I'm not cut out for this.
Elina, you have a gift. Don't let fear hold you back. Step out of your comfort zone. You might surprise yourself.
His words resonated with Elina. She had come so far. Could she let this opportunity slip away just because of her fear? She took a deep breath and said,
Okay, I'll do it.
The internship, a stepping stone. Elina's first few attempts at anchoring the school news were far from perfect. She was nervous, her voice wavered and her hands shook as she held the script. The bright lights were intimidating, casting harsh shadows and making her feel exposed. The camera felt like a judgmental eye, scrutinizing her every move and magnifying her mistakes. She stumbled, she froze, she forgot her lines. Each mistake felt like a setback, a reminder of how far she had to go, but she didn't give up. Elina was determined to improve, practicing tirelessly in front of the camera, redoing takes until she got them right. With each recording, she gained more confidence. Her voice grew steadier, her delivery more natural. Mr. Thompson was a constant source of support, providing constructive criticism and encouragement in equal measure. He guided her through her mistakes and celebrated her successes. He saw her potential, even when she couldn't see it herself. His belief in her abilities was unwavering. Her dedication and hard work paid off. She spent countless hours practicing, staying late after school to perfect her skills. By the end of the year, Elina had blossomed into a natural in front of the camera. Her once shaky voice was now confident and clear. Her passion for news, her ability to connect with the audience shone through. She had transformed from a nervous beginner into a poised and engaging anchor.
Elina, I have another opportunity for you, an internship at a local news channel. This could be your stepping stone to a bright future in journalism.
Chapter 3. Alina's Big Debut. Lights, camera, action. The newsroom was a whirlwind of activity. Experienced reporters rushed around, deadlines loomed, and the pressure was palpable. Elina, initially overwhelmed, quickly found her footing. She observed, she learned, she made herself indispensable. She started with small tasks, assisting producers, researching stories, even fetching coffee. But she never missed an opportunity to learn from the best in the business. Her dedication and eagerness did not go unnoticed. One day, the usual anchor for a segment called in sick. It was a small human interest story, but it was a chance nonetheless. Seeing Elina's potential, the producer took a leap of faith and gave her the opportunity. Elina's big break had arrived. A star is born. The familiar wave of nervousness washed over Elina as she sat in the anchor's chair. Her heart raced and her palms were sweaty. She could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on her shoulders, but this time it was different. This time she felt a spark of something new, something powerful. Years of practice, of pushing past her comfort zone, had prepared her for this moment. She remembered the countless hours spent rehearsing in front of a mirror, the feedback from mentors, and the small victories that built her confidence. She took a deep breath, looked straight into the camera, and smiled. The words flowed effortlessly. It was as if she was born to do this, as if every challenge she had faced was leading up to this very moment. Her voice was steady, her delivery engaging. Each word was clear, each sentence crafted with care. She had the audience hanging on her every word. She spoke with passion, with conviction, with the confidence of someone who had found her calling. Her eyes sparkled with determination, and her presence commanded the room. The segment was a resounding success. The energy in the studio was electric, and everyone could feel that something special had just happened. As the credits rolled, the crew erupted in applause. Elina had done it. She had not only delivered the news, but had also delivered a performance that would be remembered. The shy girl who once hid behind her books had found her voice, not just for herself, but for the world to hear. She had transformed from a timid student into a confident news anchor. Elina's journey was a testament to the power of perseverance, the importance of mentorship, and the magic that happens when we dare to step out of our comfort zones. Her story inspired many, showing that with hard work and determination, dreams can indeed come true. A star was born. If Elina's story inspired you, make sure to subscribe to the English Academy channel on YouTube for more inspiring journeys and tips to help you find your voice. Click the link below and join our community today.